I have a question for Hebrew Israelites. I'm not sure if, there are still some Israelites who teach this or not, but I'm going to just ask to see. All right. There are some people who believe that in order to be an Israelite, you need a Israelite father and an Israelite mother. If you have an Israelite father and a heathen mother, then you're considered a mamzer, or you're not considered an Israelite in some people's eyes. Okay. Now, answer me this. For one, with Jacob, from Jacob came the Israelites, right? Now, when it comes to who Jacob had intercourse with to make the tribes or make his sons, I think all of his wives, they were not Israelites, because Israelites did not exist until he had his sons, because Jacob was named Israel, and the descendants that come from him, or the sons that come from him, they're considered Israelites. But how can that doctrine of you have to have an Israelite father and an Israelite mother to be an Israelite, how can that be true if Jacob had intercourse with other nations or heathen mothers to make Israelites? Wouldn't that make all of us mamzers, technically? And then for two, our people, according to the Bible, we're spread across the four corners of the earth, right? How can we be spread or scattered to the four corners of the earth if our people did not have intercourse with other nations to make children? Because I believe that you only have to have an Israelite father to be considered an Israelite, because you are the seed of your father. So whoever your father is, that makes you who you are, right? So in order for us to be spread across the four corners of the earth, which includes places like Asia, Europe, the United States, Africa, obviously, even possibly, I don't know about Antarctica, Australia, like for us to be spread across all those different nations and all these different continents, our men, Israelite men, would have had to have intercourse with other nations in order to spread across this whole entire earth. So can y'all answer that for me as well? If only that doctrine of you have to have an Israelite father and an Israelite mother to be an Israelite. But for one, like I said, the fact that Jacob, he made the Israelites by having intercourse with heathen mothers, and for us to be spread across the entire earth, the four corners of the earth, we had to have had intercourse with other nations as well. So y'all answer that for me.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahawah.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Rakwakwidash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this. I'm very surprised, I will say, by the questions, because it kind of seems like he was I don't know what the word is. Slakia. The thing that I am surprised by is how the way he was, his logic and his reasoning was very sound. It already kind of debunked what he was told. So I thought that was a very nice touch. So maybe he has some of the thing. Maybe he might come into the truth. Maybe not. I don't know, and that's not for me to decide. But the thing that I'm going to be doing is kind of like further solidifying and debunking everything. All right, because there were some things in here. Hold on.
To make children, because I believe that you only have to have an Israelite father to be considered an Israelite, because you are the seed of your father. So whoever your father is, that makes you who you are, right? So
yeah. So that's a very that's literally scriptural. But yet he is over here. He apparently he's not the Israelite. He's not the Hebrew Israelite that is educated or edified enough. But yet he's speaking to other Israelites that are just giving him blatantly false, incorrect information. All right, so he's literally right. That's ironic that he's saying that. Now let me get this quickly first, and then I'm getting to the actual lessons. Matthew 22 and 29. Yahawadah answered and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Yahweh. And that's the thing where you have people that just get so, what's the word, like proud, to the point where they just think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do this and whatnot. I know this. I'm edified. The Lord is dealing with me and whatnot. When in actuality, like the Lord is not dealing with you because you do not know what the frick you are talking about. What are you talking about? And that's the thing. But that's also the thing where a lot of misinformation come, either misinformation or disinformation. Either or. Misinformation, I believe that's I don't know which is which, but I do know what both of them mean. I believe misinformation is unintentionally giving out incorrect information. Unintentionally giving out incorrect information. Disinformation is intentionally giving out wrong information. All right. So I think the people that he's speaking to are giving misinformation because they're not educated enough. They don't study the scriptures enough to actually know what's going on. What does all this mean? How is this connected to X, Y, and Z and whatnot? So as a result of that, they're misled. All right. So with that being said, this is where we get to where we're at right now, where Slaki, not just me, but there's so many brothers out there that are over here, making these different lessons, trying to edify and show all these different corrections. Okay. Me personally, I'm not on TikTok. Well, I mean, I technically do have a TikTok account, but I just don't go on there. I don't like it. I guess to me, speaking as a man, there's just the spirit is not on me to be going on TikToks. I am genuinely, like, to be honest, I'm genuinely afraid of my health. My attention span has already diminished substantially, and I don't want to get used to freaking 1 minute pleasures and stuff like that. So that's just, again, we all have our different things, and I'm pretty sure that this is a TikTok. I'm pretty sure that this is a TikTok video. So yeah, that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna let some other brothers do this. Clearly other brothers are capable of doing this. As you see, this brother has found this, and I'm not saying that. Well, Slaki, I'm not trying to over-explain myself. The brothers know that this is not no insult or anything like that. It's just that the Lord has everyone handle stuff at different things. Okay. So anyway, continuing on, you have these people who are who are improperly educated or misinformed about how stuff goes, and they follow after the you-ish version of what the scriptures say. So they think, okay, well, you are an Israelite based off of your mother, which again, that's not true. And now let's actually prove that finally in Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upwards, by their polls. All right. So yeah, this is an example of that, where he said, this brother who had said, who apparently isn't an Israelite. All right, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. Maybe he's an individualite, and he does not have the proper channels and avenues to actually learn. So maybe he wants to learn. All right, and as a result of that, he was misinformed by someone. All right, either misinformed or disinformed by someone else. All right, who was telling him some stuff that clearly were not true. All right. Now, and Slaki, that's another thing. Oh, I just remembered. Slaki, I just remembered. That was another thing. A big part of this, you have to have a father and a mother that's an Israelite, that's because there's a big subsection of Israelites that are trying to appeal to the so-called black women. Because that's the thing. To understand that it's basically like they are willing to lie, either disinform or misinform, and say that you have to have a so-called black woman. You need to stick with the black woman and whatnot. I think this is primarily, again, it's not confirmed, but I think this is primarily from the Israelites that are like black only and whatnot. Like I think that's where they're saying that. I think they're like only black only, stuff like that. And because simply because I remember speaking to this one. Well, never mind, I guess. Slovakia. But to get back on track, basically, it's this black only thing. And they're trying to push this narrative that, oh yeah, it's only about black excellence, black this, black that, whatever. And they're trying. They say that what's it called? Israelites that say you're allowed to get with so-called non-black women or non-Israelite women is because of some whole sexual deviancy and stuff like that, when that's just objectively not true. All right. As a matter of fact, what's his name? YAHAWASHI, Slovakia. YAHAWASHI actually is he has an ancestor that married or got with an ancestor man that got with ancestral father that got with a Moabite wife. All right. Now let me get this. I will say though that there have been talks on if Ruth is a Moabite or an Israelite or not. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna argue on that. I'm just gonna go off the assumption that she is an Moabite. Although again, if she's actually an Israelite and I'm wrong on this, okay, sure, that's fine. But I believe through the Spirit and power of YAHAWAH, because ultimately, regardless of if she isn't a Moabite or not, that does not matter. It does not matter because it doesn't disqualify if she is. As a matter of fact, he even went into it where let me get this over here in Genesis 30 verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's wife, bare Jacob a son. Jacob had slept with. Well, that's the thing. Jacob had slept with Leah and Zilpah. Those were heathens. They weren't people that came as descendants from, what's his name? Not Abraham. What was it called? What was her name? What was his name? Slovakia. Adam, Seth, Shem. All right. Well, we don't know if they came from Shem, but maybe or not. Maybe not. But the main thing is just in general how they're not like a part of the thing where he still had children and with whatever women. It doesn't. The women's ethnicity does not matter. All right. So with that, yes, we have there's a second one. I forgot what I was going to get. Oh, yeah. Luke, Slovakia. Let me get this. So, let's go down to Luke. Luke chapter 3, verse 23. And Yahawashi himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Hell, which was okay. And then let's just jump down to search name and then go to that verse. Booz was 32, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Booz, which was the son of Salmon, which was the son of Naasson. All right, and that's the thing where where is it? Yeah, that's the thing where Boaz is who had a. Actually, let me get this as well. where is it? Ruth 4 and 13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife, and when he went in onto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. Okay, so yeah, basically that's the thing where the father can sleep with any woman and have, well, not any woman obviously, and that's the thing. He also said, he said that if a man, let's say for example, if I have a kid with a so-called Edomite woman, then that kid is a mamzer. Well, no, that's not a mamzer, because if you actually look at the definition of mamzer, all right, it is even in the what tradition, it says mamzer is a person born from certain forbidden relationships, especially incest or adultery involving a married woman, according to the Bible. So basically, it is if a man sleeps with his sister, or if a man sleeps with another man's wife, then that's where that child is considered a mamzer. All right, it's not. And again, like I don't want to say that because it just sounds weird, but basically, if I just have a kid with a random Edomite woman, all right, or I'll just say, Edomite, Moabite, Indian, whatever, Ishmaelite woman, all right, then that's not a mamzer. If the woman is unmarried, okay, she is marriageable age, she's not dealing with any other man, all right, and I just marry her, that is not that's not a sin, that's not that's not a forbidden relationship, that's not incest, that's not adultery or anything like that. It's just me getting a wife, or I think, because that's the thing, in the scriptures, like that's not necessarily a wife that's a concubine. That's and which Israelites are allowed to have concubines, which actually I can prove that. We can get that with that. Where is it? It was
revolutionary and national hero of the Congo. So back in time, Congo was colonized by the Belgians. You see Belgium over there, very small country. They colonized, actually before Belgium colonized the Congo, Congo was run by the king of Belgium. It was a private property of one person. Why? Because he used Congo to reach.
Bear with me, I'm trying to remember where it's at. Anyway, okay, yeah, Numbers 31:17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him, but all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And what the fuck do you think they're being kept alive for? All right, obviously they're being kept alive to be concubines, because they're heathen. They are heathen women, or heathen whatever. All right, in order for, just you get the picture, okay? I don't need to freaking spell this shit out for you, all right? And this is clearly spoken in the Bible, spoken in the scriptures. So it goes to show that it. And again, if we were not allowed to have heathen wives, then the scriptures would have just said, literally kill everybody, do not leave a single soul alive, which there have been instances where they said kill everyone, don't leave anyone alive, or don't get with these heathen women, but those were, specific times. You can't, and the thing is that you have to understand the timing, okay? Sometimes it's all right, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's better to not get with certain women, all right? Sometimes it's better to sometimes it's okay to get with a woman, with certain women, not heathen women and whatnot. But ultimately, the thing is that being with a heathen is not a sin. It's just sometimes these heathen women will turn away your heart from YAHAWASHI, which is what happened to King Solomon. Now, with that being said, also I want to further prove my point by getting this. Numbers 12:1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. So Moses over here married an Ethiopian woman. So where's the judgment from YAHAWAH? Because if anything, if you actually read more in this, you'll see that the Lord got mad and punished Miriam for it, and then Aaron is definitely Aaron. I believe it was Aaron that was going to be killed later on. But the Lord judged these two for speaking out against what's it called? Speaking out against what's it called? Moses. All right. So and in that same on that same token, like this is where you have to understand, like the Lord is not exclusive. He's not saying, oh, you're not allowed to have children with, or you Israelite men are not allowed to have children with heathen women. All right, though being a woman, you're not allowed to, you should definitely not get. Well, the thing about that is that you are basically, how do I say this? I don't know how to say this, but for logically, I'll say logically, okay? If you as a Israelite woman are getting with a non-Israelite man, you're basically setting yourself up to be, joined with the enemy, basically. So that is not wise. Okay, if you actually believe you're an Israelite, then you wouldn't be doing that, because you know that there's no salvation for non-Israelites. All right, there's no salvation for non-Israelites, and it's just destruction. All right, now continuing on, but at the same time, Slakia, I guess on that same token, if a man, a brother or whatever gets with a heathen woman, all right, of course that heathen woman is not going to be delivered, but of course I believe the exact term is preserved, all right, because that's the what's the word? That's the possession of said man and whatnot, where that woman is still going to be saved as a result of being under said Israelite man, where even then, and Slaki, that also goes into the issue of a brother having multiple wives, where you will have a lot of women, which Slaki, that's another thing. These topic of multiple wives, these topics of you are only allowed to get with if you as an Israelite, you're only allowed to get with another Israelite. All right, these types of stuff are changed in order to make people in order to have more numbers. And there are a lot of women, Israelite women, who acknowledge that they're Israelites and know that they're Israelites and stuff like that, and attempt to follow it, but they don't want to follow certain camps, because camps like GMS, for example, GMS say, oh, you're allowed to have multiple women, all right, and you're allowed to get with heathen women as well. Of course, that's fine, but you're not allowed to, or Slakia, you should probably not what's the word, have multiple wives. They've said that multiple times, and that's sound advice, because number one, it costs money to look out for lots of people, and while there are things that are like marrying multiple women are allowed scripturally, I think you're legally not allowed to get married through Esau's system to multiple women. I think that's literally illegal. I think it's genuinely illegal, but whatever. Anyway, the main thing is that this type of stuff, which by the way, Slaki, that's just disrespectful. It's supposed to be you're supposed to have freedom and stuff like that, but they stop you from marrying having at least two wives. That's a stupid ass law, but whatever, I guess. Anyway, to continue on, the thing about this is that how we are just supposed to follow after the laws of the land, and while yes, we are allowed to do it, some certain things, and it's not a sin to do certain things, we should probably refrain from doing certain things as of right now, based off of our current predicament. All right, because we're not able to do, to keep the law all perfectly and whatnot, because there's lots of different things that get in the way of that. All right, so with that being said, this is where you have this issue of, people who are speaking out against the law, speaking against, what the word of YAHAWAH is, and not knowing that, okay, well, you're saying all this stuff, but is it actually scriptural? And you have these people that get confused, and they go seeking, I have a question for Hebrew Israelites, this, that, and third, and whatnot, where they don't know what's going on. Okay, they don't know stuff, and a brother like this, okay, like if he's a part of the elect, which maybe he is, maybe he's not, but a brother like this, all right, this is a perfect example of someone that's like, what, this doesn't sound right, and the Lord put the Spirit on him to be able to recognize that whatever that I was being told was wrong, it was off, because I remember, and I know of these different scriptures and stuff like that where it says otherwise. All right, and again, as I said before, Moses, he is after Jacob. All right, so now as in his example, because he was talking about Jacob, so does that mean that his kids, Moses' children, are non-Israelites? They're mamzers? No, absolutely not. Okay, so it goes to show that their logic is flawed. But yeah, this is why we show that. And again, this is a perfect another example. Blake, you are gonna call Blake Griffin a non-Israelite? All right, he's absolutely an Israelite because his father is an Israelite. Another example. What's that bitch's name? Tracy Ellis Ross. Okay. Her father is not an Israelite. All right. So here you see this. All right. You see the duality, and it's not. Again, I keep on saying it's not about what someone looks like. It's about your bloodline, your father's bloodline, as we read in Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. All right. So yeah, that was basically it. I pray this lesson was edifying. Slakia. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself, and I may not finish thought, but at the same time, I think for the most part you're able to comprehend and understand the things that I'm saying. But Yahawadah, I'll try to improve upon on that. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakwakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Abad Ball, and Shalom.